It's Age Mythology Retold point of view time, and we're going to be watching Gabe play Quetzalcoatl here. To be honest, I don't know who Gabe is, but he's about a 1950 rated account, so that's going to be your top 50 kind of guys. And he's playing up against Benny WR. Benny, he's always leaving comments in the YouTube chat, so if he watches this one, make sure to reply to him and say hi. So this was actually a request from Mr. Oh god, it's so far away, I can't remember the name, so I'm sorry about that. But if you fancy any point of view games on YouTube, just leave a comment on any of the point of views and say which god you want, and we'll watch this one. So we're going to be watching Quetzalcoatl here, and he's going to be in the blue, and the map is Giza. So Giza, kind of one of those wide open maps, and we do see Gabe is going to be dropping down the... He went 2 to the cow pulley on the wood, 2 to the cow pulley on the food. Now what you do with the Aztecs is you drop down one of these, you share it with everything, then you can attach these pens to them, and it essentially gives an extra bonus amount of resources, like a pharaoh or priest empowering your cow pulleys. And Quetzalcoatl gets them really cheap, so that's why he likes to drop them all early. Going over to the wood makes sense, these things all cost wood, so it's a relatively simple build for pets compared to the other two gods. The other two gods, it's quite expensive. So if you want to do this, lots of livestock pen, lumber outpost, whatever the gold one's called, craft workshop or something like that, then it's a little bit difficult. But with Gabe's choice of god, it is nice and a nice easy early game. He's already pre-queued the cow pulley. It is called the craft workshop. What a time to be alive. We've got Archimedes' Ledger is going to be siege weapons, adds -1 population count. A weird way to say that, but it is going to be nice for our Ketz player if he wants to go for some of those Otontin Smashers, which have an absolutely amazing name, or the late game myth units that throw the rocks. They're really cool, but I feel like they're a little bit underwhelming, especially against what Benny's got on the other side. So Benny is the Uranos player in this one. We won't be watching what he's doing, but he'll be popping in and out of the screen, of course, when we see some red dots very, very soon. But he can make some heroes very easily, either way that he goes. So it looks like he's thinking about Oceanus, but if he goes that way, he can get the cheaper infantry upgrade for the heroes, and if he goes the other way with the Valor, he just gets loads of heroes anyway. So later on, and just your heroes are stronger. Uranos is good. Uranos is the hero god, so the myth units aren't so good against him. Anyway, Temple going to be coming down with 3 villagers over here. And the reason that he's doing this is because he spent all the wood early. He actually went to gold quite late, so he needs to drop it down with 3 villagers. I think he was also... No, he wasn't actually that late on it. Yes, they all have gold in the bank, so he was a little bit late on just thinking about it. Some of these tight builds that you need to drop the temple down, you need to do it as soon as you get the resources, and I think Gabe here just forgot a little bit, but it's not the biggest of deals at all. Increased villager hit points. Pygmalion statue is an insanely strong relic. I should really make a relic tier list. I don't think I ever did one for Retold. I'm kind of scared from doing tier lists, because my myth unit tier list is so poor, but it's got so many views, it's kind of scary. But oh well, that's a S+ tier relic anyway. Absolutely insane. And looks like Benny is up to the next stage with a 350 advance time, and Gabe walks across with his Cometian spy at the perfect time to see double military barracks getting dropped. So he knows exactly what he's up against. He is up against Murmillo and probably some Caladriers, knowing that he is Benny's gone through Oceanus, and he will be able to heal those guys up. So he knows that it isn't just going to be a couple of heroes. Some builds that Uranos players sometimes do, especially looking back at when the Mister used to do it, is drop a military barracks down, grab like 3 very early Murmillos, come in with those 3 heroes, make them all heroes, do lots of damage with them, and then go for town centers and things like that. And it looks like Benny's also going on the Rhino on this side, dropped his sky passage down, and it's quite hard to actually aggress onto the sky passages, as he is going to send some units over. So we didn't actually mention that Gabe went through the Agave Bloom Pata Cattle, so he does have the bunnies. Bunnies are going to be decent against the Murmillos here, and there's nothing really to take down the Caladriers. Actually, warrior priests do attack them, don't they? What am I saying? They do get the ranged attack, and the Uranos player, though, at this level should be able to dodge the majority of shots, unless Benny's paying attention somewhere elsewhere. If there's one fight, I don't think he's really going to take damage from these warrior priests. And they don't one-shot anyway, so even if the Caladria does, for some reason, stand there for a hot second, she's going to be able to get away. And nice play, though. Takes down one Murmillo. That's pretty huge. You see, they're going to miss pretty much every time. And now these few warrior priests are going to be running over, but I imagine they're going to be greeted with some Murmillos. This citizen will just need to run inside the sky passages. Looks like he's going to do all of them and not lose out on too much. Also just coming over. Nice shanks, actually. Rough for Gabe here. Did lose that very low HP warrior priest to the citizens. Citizens getting their knives out. And now the Murmillo are in. I think the Murmillo plays pretty decent up against what Ketz wants to do here, because the only counter they really have is going to be those archers, which you don't really want to be running around the map with the archers. You want to be sitting back because they're relatively slow compared to the Murmillo. They're fast for archers, but not compared to Murmillo. Nice micro, does manage to get down the low HP ones. Also pulling back his low HP warrior priests and a bit of a shockwave to stop the Carnivora from going down instantly to those warrior priests, and he is going to run away. The issue is Gabe doesn't have healing, and Benny does. And this is one of the big perks about playing Oceanus Aranos, is these scraps, if the units don't go down, then you're just laughing. You're going to heal those back up, no problem. Whereas all of these are now low. You can bring these back for bloodletting. The lower HP your guys have, though, the less you get from the bloodletting. So if you start from full HP, you get a decent amount, like 0.12 favor per second. And then it goes down the less HP you have. But you can just sacrifice those to kind of, or sacrifice their time to sit over here, and he is going to do that. So 15 HP on this guy, it won't go any lower, it doesn't go below 30% HP, and yeah, they are going to be nerfed, basically, to be half the price, or half the favor in here. Now the archers are in, great play to get the Tequiwar archers in, but is there enough of them is the question. Ocelot warriors tanking pretty well, they do have a lot of hack armor. Are there any upgrades, or is 35% is what they start with? No, 35% what they start with. It's pretty early considering how many resources have been spent on dudes to be grabbing anything like that. But yeah, can tank pretty well with the 182 HP as well. Maybe there's some angle where you go Ocelot warriors and you rush out some armory upgrades, because they just have so much HP. It's just insane. So your armory upgrades kind of work a little bit better just because they are just fat units. They are quite expensive, maybe not, but also just getting the medium upgrades even is just going to be nice. Anything that gives you percentage on something that's super high anyway, it's just value for days. But for now, it's just going to be spamming the dudes out and protecting his hunt source. There's also a gold mine on this side, so Gabe is going to be wanting to sit here for a solid while, so he definitely needs some units out to be able to defend that. He thinks right now that Benny is still spamming units, and obviously we can tell that he is. But you've always got to be expecting that from the Aranos player. You need to get some kind of vision going down, though. I think the spy did go down earlier on. I do have a spy hotkey now. And no, that is not there. So the spies, they do go down so quick. Does manage to spot some red dots. Not even a red dot, just a red wave coming over here. As the Caladrias are getting spotted by the war hut there. Some nice walls. House walls coming up, also can jump inside this tower, no problem. There is a little gap in the forest over here. You do have to be watching out for that one, and the sky passage is going to be going down, but I don't think Benny really cares because he is over here. You can also garrison inside the lumber outpost. I don't think any... Oh, you might be able to get one on the backside. Pretty nice snipe from Benny, but how much does he lose for this? There's going to be one of the Murmillos going down, but it looks like that's probably it. So he will take that raid, because all Gabe managed to get in this situation, watching from his point of view, is he managed to get this sky passage. This is what makes Aranos so damn good. It's like, yep, you get a kill on my villager, and I kill your sky passage. It's not a trade that I really want. Cowpully over here does manage to pre-queue the lumber outpost to move it over here. The pre-queue basically means that while you're building this, as soon as it spawns in, it will create a lumber outpost and queue that one up. It's just a nice quality of life change. Oh, might be able to get a Caladria. Nope. Oh, the fire looks good, but unfortunately, no ballistics means no chance. Might be able to get some here. No. Surely the fire is big enough. I think he actually went for a different Caladria and it just missed and went to the one behind it. That is what happens sometimes. It's a shame you can't like manually attack with that one, similar to like in AoE 2 where they have the oh my god, whatever those catapult boys are called, where you can just attack ground. You need to be able to do that in AOM. Like the centaurs can do. You can attack ground with their special. We need to see more of that. I'm a big fan of those. Ocelot warriors are running past that tree, which means they do go invis, which is kind of cool. And then when they jump out, they do more damage, which I had no idea was a thing. But apparently, if they're invis and then they jump out, they have extra DPS for some time, which is a kind of a weird mechanic, to be honest, but it is what it is. These are now down to 0.04, probably because there's 3 of them, so each one that you put on is slightly less, similar to how the Greeks work. But you're kind of getting like 2 or 1.5 villagers praying, and you will be getting some for killing off these units. Nice raid from Benny. He does manage to grab a villager. Or does he? There was no corpse down there. It looked like he should have, though. 5 HP on this settler, and does drop the agave bloom, which is one way to heal. I said there's no way to heal. There is this way, but I mean, it is a god power that you kind of also want to be using for the food to be getting up to that next age. Coatlicue is going to be the choice. And the Ocelot warrior is like, nah, get out of my town. He does go up to 200 HP with that medium upgrade as well. Maybe these guys are underrated. I think they're not as good as Murmillo, which is the kind of issue there. In terms of raw stats, you're like, oh, the Murmillo doesn't have as much, but he is a lot cheaper than this fella over here, the Ocelot warrior. It's like these settlers do manage to force drop, then he will be heading up to the next stage. There is an armory already down, so don't have to worry about that one. And we'll be heading up to the next stage. Gets those turtle rabbits in, or armadillos. He will love to correct me when I call them turtle rabbits, but it is literally what the tooltip says. Apparently, it's what the Aztecs would have called them. That's what it translates to: turtle rabbit, not armadillo. There's also still a tailwind to use at some point, which could be for some kind of raid. I like seeing the early raids with the warrior priest with that tailwind, but it is also a get out of dodge. Termers are now in. Nice micro pullback. Let's keep our archers. What do you do against Termers, though? That is the question. Because you kind of want to go into those coyotes, the coyote runners. But then they just get melted by the Murmillos. It's a little bit of a tough situation, as they're going to trade so poorly into those. Maybe they're fast enough. They also don't have a jump. But the Ocelot warriors can jump, so if they could jump over the front line, it would be nice. But the runners can't do that. They run, no jumping. And it is going to be a gold mine. Going to be secured over here. How poorly gets moved over. So Gabe knows his Aztecs. He's making sure to pre-queue this each time. The sort of thing that I would just forget playing them not very often. And then the other choice against them is going to be the Eagle Warrior. I think Eagle Warrior makes sense because they outrange the Terma, especially Quetzalcoatl ones, because they are 21 range or something absolutely absurd. Is it 21 range? I think they're 19 range normally. They take a while to build, so there's not one out yet. Or 20 range. Do they get range with this? 1 range, right? They should have 1 extra range when they're heavy. Unless I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, 20 range. Insane. Maybe they got nerfed. I'm sure it was 21. Murmillo coming through. And it looks like Benny just has quite a lot of units there. And they are going to get gobbled up by the big earth monster. Do have a bit of a shockwave to run away. And Benny is going to run. But all of his units are getting swallowed up. They will get spat back out at some point. And he doesn't want to lose those ones. The god power is more of a displace. It doesn't do that much damage. And here they come. All of them back. Does about 1/3 of the HP. But what can Gabe do here? Huge bit of CC coming through from the Turtle Rabbit guy. And again, low HP units. The Chaos available for Benny now. He would have loved that a hot second ago. And Gabe will be happy to see that one. He should be able to take out one Murmillo. And he'll be very happy he has secured his gold mine. That was the aim. That was the aim of that whole getting to the next stage. Get a power spike with your Earth Monster situation. What he can also do, he's got 11 warrior priests here. They can build himself a great temple, which is the castle type building. So should be able to whack that one down once he's gathered enough gold from the cow pulley. He's also grabbing himself shaft mine, so he wants that gold in ASAP. I imagine there'll be a big castle drop down. Yeah, it looks like the warrior priests are getting in position to do that. and making sure that you don't need to use your villagers for it. If the warrior priests can build towers, they can build great temples. Why not let them? I love that. Because this guy's just slow as hell. Why not hit Q and roll him out of the way? Holy. We won't be able to see this if we are Gabe, but there is a lot of heroes coming through. And heroes be scary from Muranos. They're not just good against myth units. It just makes them better in general. I think Gabe needs to take a fight, though. He needs to do something. He's at 177 of 175 pop. So that means no villagers will be out. So he needs to do something. Looks like he's doing the livestock makes the temple devotions a bit better. So he does have to watch out for that. So there could be some big power spike coming at some point. I just think he needs to do something. The other thing is go Mythic Age. That is also an option. But these dudes aren't going to be out. I would just hit your all buildings button. Get rid of everything, whatever your backspace equivalent is. Looks like, what is he sacrificing? Is he sacrificing any villagers? Increases all gather rates. So it increases the gather rates of the warrior priest, which is kind of cool. Doesn't say it does, but it must do, right? Anyway, not sacrificing anything for the time being. And Benny is back in, and he does have his big god power coming in. The chaos is huge. Tailwind is going to just be used to get out of dodge. But unfortunately, they're running away with the slow myth unit, which is not what he wants at all. But a nice bit of fighting micro moving around. There is going to be an annoying Carnivora dropped. But the Tashikla is in. It's mini Son of Osiris time. And the villagers, some of the villagers did go down. That's all the hero Murmillos coming in. They just tank for absolute days. Ocelotta Warriors in to jump. There could be a bit of a special with this guy if he wants to use it. Eagle Warriors as well. They don't trade that badly into the Terma if you can stay out of range. Actually, they trade amazingly if you can stay out of range. But even if you're in there, they do have a lot of pierce armor to their name. And doing a decent amount of damage to the Great Temple. I think Gabe survived this one. Benny, that was an expensive army to lose as well. The thing is, though, he can heal these guys all back up with by just existing, thanks to the Hyperion upgrade. And Gabe will run out of there. But that does push his Mythic Age back a little bit. During that fight, he had to keep making guys, keep making dudes. And he's also spotted that Benny had a town center. So he did that much damage and grabbed himself a town center. Kind of makes sense because Gabe has got a lot in the bank because he wanted to head to that Mythic Age. And the one good part of this is that the population has gone down, so he can go back to making villages. Just going straight after the town center, I would, every time you're up against Uranos, just take out the Sky Passage first. Otherwise, stuff like this happens. You're going to get caught off guard. Or even if there's a chance that you're not, you might get caught off guard. So it's just a rough position to be in. Sean one's in. Sean one's do have a little stun. They are actually great against the Murmillos. The Sheepler again, just going to get surrounded. And I think that was literally, that was just not taking out the Sky Passage. If he takes out the Sky Passage there, then this just doesn't happen. He'll be able to at least damage the town center a little bit more before the army comes in, and he'll just have more time to react. This is just playing against Uranos 101, basically. Sky Passage, delete before you can do anything. And I don't know about that. He still wanted his Tlaylock. He's got a minute 45-ish to wait. He does have a lot of resources, though, so maybe it isn't so bad. He can spam out his Eagle Warriors to defend this position, because Benny will be definitely coming over here after winning that fight pretty handily. So what can Gabe do? He's getting out with Shorn ones. Are they expensive? They, not too bad. Kind of quite expensive on the food, which Gabe doesn't have too much of, but the farming eco is going to be coming up. He's one upgrade away from full upgrades on his farms, and he can even get this this extra one down here. What does this one do? Oh no, that's just HP. Forget that. That's just HP. But why not? Why not grab that one? Bit of HP, bit of percentage HP is good for everybody. Oh, heavy Great Temple Soldiers, Jade Weapons. So he does want to go into these Shorn ones. So Shorn one's Eagle Warrior comp is kinda nuts. I like that comp. Is this the original little rabbit guy? Wow. If it is, he hasn't really done much. Maybe he just made a random rabbit. It's an interesting call. I think this guy, he needs a few of them to really get going, and maybe the upgrade as well. But Slaylock will be in soon, and the Slaylock God Power is incredible. He will want it to secure another position, I believe, because it's just quite difficult to aggress onto. Oh, it's going to be a great counter to this palace that's over here, because this is where he wants to go to. He would probably want to use it to defend the gold mine anyway. And what it does is it just destroys a building and then defends a position for you. Definitely use it here. Whack it down straight away. Don't even think about it. Just bring your bunny back in. Whack it down. And in comes the rat as well. Going to be coming through. Definitely worth a drop down. I don't know why you wouldn't just straight away. He's also doing the Comitian spies into the Great Temple. He's not going for it. Why not? Especially because he's not going to win this fight without it, so he needs to drop it somewhere. Murmillos are going to be very, very difficult to deal with. The Eagle Warrior's trying to go after the back line here. Hit that button. Hit that button. Because Benny's going to win this fight otherwise. Here it comes. There we go. Would have been nice earlier, but still, look how much damage it does. It's insane. Deletes the Sky Passage, or deletes the Great Temple. Villagers run away through the Sky Passage and does force Benny back. And that will be another gold mine secured for Gabe. Does need to run his Shorn ones back, though, to be inside the radius of the pillar, the Slaylock pillar. And that is definitely secured. Benny would have to commit so much to be able to actually push into this one. He needs to get some destroyers out, something like that. Or maybe even be in the Mythic Age and get some good siege weapons in. It's a very, very difficult pillar to deal with. While this is going on, though, Benny, he is 2 TCs. He's been 2 TCs for a good few minutes now, and he has accrued himself a bit of a lead. And Gabe does spot that one, wants to grab himself one as well. Was that all the myth units? Did all the myth units come through? Here they are, the myth unit squadron is definitely in. I think he is behind on the villagers a little bit as well. It's going to be a random Arcus coming through. Because he has spent all that time building spies. I don't know whether that's even worth it. So what happens is you need to get rid of or sacrifice 15 of your human units to get this ball of myth units, which is a pretty good trade. And I think what the game essentially wants you to do is sacrifice like this guy that's 29 HP and like a 15 HP dude and maybe some cheap ones like Spearman. But what players seem to do is they just whack in all of the spies from the town center because they're cheap, because they are ridiculously cheap. They cost 45 resources, but they also take 4 seconds to train, and you need 15 of them. So you're missing out on villagers doing that. So I don't know what's better. Maybe if what Gabe's done here is his army's very expensive. He's got all the premium units, the Shorn one, the Ocelotter Warriors, the Eagle Warriors. You don't really want to sacrifice any of those unless they are really low HP. Also, yeah, he's also got that regen upgrade now, the infusions. I said there's no healing earlier, but this does exist. But I mean, look how slow it is. Incredibly slow. Nice wall coming up on this side. Gabe does have to think about his next gold mine because, well, Benny's town center over here was such a good call. So many gold mines over that way. The map is Giza. Sometimes Giza is like this. You can just get hardly any gold spawns in some variants, which is fine. But you know, you just got to be aware of it. Basically, we've got String of Hearts as well, which is the extra crush damage for everybody, which makes your Eagle Warriors okay against buildings as well. The issue is that there's going to be a chaos that's going to be coming through, and we can obviously see the amount of favor that Benny has, but you can just assume against pretty much every Atlantean that they're going to use each god power at least twice, just because their god powers are cheaper than everybody else's. He's going to go for it. There's also 10 oracles. Not really sniping down those oracles. Again, it's just playing against Tyrannos. Just things that you need to do. You constantly need to be looking around the map. And nice micro to get in. And it is going to be that chaos. There is the Incarnate of Quetzalcoatl. He doesn't get affected by chaos, so he could do some big damage. But the hero Arcus in the backline are rough to deal with. And if they start going after Mr. Incarnate, he will go down kind of quick. He is 400 HP, but he's kind of like a Son of Osiris. If he gets targeted down by archers, he could go down so quickly. But it looks like that isn't what's happening for the time being, so he is getting away with doing 3k damage pretty much in a short space of time. How much damage he does is insane. He does 300 per lightning bolt attack with that many units. Are there any smashers in, though? There is one smasher and a dream, not enough to take down the town center. I think he traded pretty well there. The issue is that he is down on the villagers, is Gabe, the Quetzalcoatl player. So an even trade, or even a slightly favored trade for our blue player, doesn't mean that it's a good trade overall, if that makes sense, because it's just easier for Benny to kind of get more resources to do that again. The saving grace again for Gabe here is that they were so many hero units, so he's paid, the Uranus player here has paid a premium for those ones. And Incarnate does go down. He does die on his own after a few minutes. And the Hero Oracle coming in. You can garrison inside this lumber outpost, but it's only 5 units. So 5 should be able to garrison. Everything else can run away. Some units coming over here, but there is a slow guy, slowing them all down to 3.2. Our Taunting Smasher needs to just be left. There is another palace over here as well. And the Cercelars probably need to grab that town center at some point. Would be worth taking out all these units to grab the town center and then think about this gold mine. But I think the Uranus here has played it pretty well. He's got palaces on all of these. He is going to be grabbing that settlement. Sky Passage again. Need to take that one out first. Always take out the Sky Passage. What's the Murmillo upgrades? Look at them all. Just ballistics for some reason. Ballistic should help with accuracy more than anything, but I guess it doesn't matter if the units are around because the Vortex is in. And the Uranus late game comp is disgusting at this stage of the game. But what can the Eagle Warriors do? Double Palace is a bit concerning. It's already got more resource value on the Uranus side anyway. Ocelotter Warriors jumping through, and the Center Manus and Benny is going to take that one. Well played to him. I think Gabe, he was in a pretty good spot up until this point over here. For some reason, I can't see the blue side anymore. But this part here, where he could have dropped the pillar earlier, I think that was a no-brainer pretty much. And then over here, if he just took down the Sky Passage first, I think this game lasts another 10 minutes at least. But well played to Benny to capitalize on it. And yeah, if you have any god suggestions, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.